Boker Tov and Chodesh Tov. Today is the first day of the month of Tammuz. I hope you're having a beginning and awesome start to your day. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Korach. We read about Moses' first cousin Korach, who was a wise man, who was a wealthy man, who was a leader, who was affluent. Yet he begun a rebellion against Moses and Aaron. And the beginning of the portion details Korach's claims and how Korach incited all his neighbors to join the rebellion, and the tragic ending where the earth opens and swallows Korach and the entire group that rebelled against Moses and Aaron. But the beginning of the Torah portion begins with two words, Vayikach Korach, and Korach took. And the rabbis say, what does it mean he took? And of course the rabbis explain, Vayikach Korach moshchon bidvarim. He spoke to them. He instigated them with words. He pulled them to the side with arguments. But the word Vayikach, say the rabbis, means he took. The beginning of Korach's failure and the beginning of all the trouble of his rebellion and why Korach wasn't able to be a leader was because Vayikach he took. What does it mean? Say the rabbis, there's two types of leaders. There's a leader that leads and serves to give, and then there's a leader that leads to take. Korach's beginning to his downfall, and the reason of his failure was because Vayikach Korach. Korach wanted to be a leader, not to serve his people, not to lead them in a way where he would be working for them and he would be caring and tending and looking after them. But yet he wanted to be a leader that would take, that would benefit from his power. He wanted the power for one reason, so he could benefit from it. The Torah tells us about Moses, the greatest leader, that Moses stood from the morning till the evening. Moses' entire being was to serve, was to give, was to look after his flock. In fact, we remember Moses in Exodus, when the Jews sinned with the golden calf, Moses says, either you save the Jews, or I don't want to have any part of this. Even though Moses loved the Torah so much, he wasn't ready to be part of it, if not for the Jewish people. Moses was the ultimate leader who gave. Korach wanted to be the ultimate leader who took. In life, the Torah tells us and teaches us the powerful lesson that we need to be takers, givers. Because the moment Vayikach, you become a taker, and you only think about yourself, then you begin the downfall of Korach, who was a great leader and a wise man and a Talmid Chacham, a great scholar. But his failure was because he only wanted to take. Thursday is the Rebbe's yahrzeit. 29 years since the passing of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, our leader, the one who founded our Chabad house, and the one who inspired me to be who I am today. And the Rebbe gave out dollars every Sunday. In fact, this Shabbos in Shul we had a little farbrengen, a little gathering, because it was the Shabbos before Gimel Tammuz, and one of the guys got up and said a story about how he went to meet the Rebbe at dollars, and a remarkable impact it had on his grandmother who was still stuck in Russia. But the point is, the Rebbe said, why did the Rebbe give out dollars? People would come seek a blessing, so why would the Rebbe give them $1? And the reason the Rebbe said was because the previous Rebbe told him and said that when two Jews meet, they always have to think how to benefit a third. And therefore the Rebbe said, if you're coming to me for a blessing, I'm going to give you $1 to give to charity, that it should benefit a third Jew. I don't want a conversation just to be about what you need and what I need and what I want to give you. But immediately it has to be about giving and impacting a third. That's the story of true leadership. The Rebbe stood for 8 hours every Sunday at 90 years old and gave out dollars because he wanted to impact someone else. He wanted to change a life. The Rebbe's whole leadership was about serving, was about giving, not about taking. In fact, and this is the irony with our leaders today, when the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe passed away in 1950, the Chassidim immediately wanted the Rebbe to take on the mantle of leadership. They saw the Rebbe's qualities, his kindness, his scholarly leadership, his brilliance, his dedication, his holiness. And for a full year, the Rebbe refused And the Rebbe pleaded with them, don't ask me to do this. The Rebbe wasn't looking to be leader. The Rebbe was humble. The Rebbe recognized that in order to be a leader, you need to serve. You need to be there 24/7. He realized the greatness of the responsibility, what it means to be a leader. The Rebbe hesitated. Today, we look at our leaders. Everyone's fighting to be the president. Everyone's fighting and ready to kill someone else so they should be in power. Is it to give? Or is it to take? Because if we become like Korach, and Vayikach Korach, we want leadership to take, then the downfall will be quick. The downfall will be brutal. And the earth will swallow us. The materialism, the job, the people around us will swallow us. Let us remember in our own lives, if we're just parents, if we're siblings, if we're bosses, if we're co-workers, if we're teachers, to always be remembering that we're here to serve, to give. Because when you give, that's when you succeed, and that's when ultimately you really get. Have a great day.